Civil conspiracy case for Frank White, Jackson County Executive. Introduction. A civil conspiracy claim requires demonstrating that two or more parties agreed to accomplish an unlawful objective or to use unlawful means to achieve a lawful objective, resulting in damages. Below is a structured approach to building a civil conspiracy case in support of Frank White, based on the attached campaign strategy document. First, elements of civil conspiracy. To establish a civil conspiracy, the following elements must be shown. Agreement. There was an agreement between two or more parties. Unlawful objective or means. The objective was unlawful, or lawful means were not used. Overt Act. At least one overt act was committed in furtherance of the conspiracy. Damages. The plaintiff suffered damages as a result. Second, alleged conspirators. Based on the campaign document, the following groups may be identified as potential conspirators: wealthy stadium developers and special interests seeking taxpayer-funded deals, political opponents and recall organizers, entities supporting the recall for personal or financial gain. Third, evidence of agreement. The document suggests the recall effort is funded by wealthy stadium developers who want taxpayers to pay for their profits. There is a coordinated campaign to silence independent leadership and reverse progress made under Frank White. Messaging frames the recall as a politically motivated attack by special interests. Fourth, unlawful objective or means. The alleged objectives and means include using the recall process to overturn legitimate government decisions for private gain, particularly regarding the stadium tax deal, undermining local autonomy and taxpayer protections by attempting to remove Frank White for standing against special interests, spreading misinformation or leveraging undue influence to sway public opinion and recall votes. Fifth, overt acts. Potential overt acts include funding and organizing the recall campaign with the intent to benefit financially from a new stadium tax deal, coordinated media and outreach campaigns to discredit Frank White's leadership and policies, mobilizing resources to target specific voter groups with misleading information about property assessments and county governance. Sixth, damages. The damages to Frank White and the public may include harm to reputation and loss of office for Frank White, financial harm to taxpayers if special interests succeed in reversing protections against the stadium tax and property assessment caps, disruption of county services and programs benefiting working families, seniors, and vulnerable populations. Seventh, supporting facts from the document. Frank White rejected the stadium tax deal that would have cost taxpayers hundreds of millions. The recall is positioned as being driven by wealthy stadium developers and special interests. The campaign emphasizes the need to defend our progress against those seeking to buy our county. The document highlights transparency, anti-corruption efforts, and legal compliance by Frank White, contrasting these with the motives of recall proponents. Eighth, legal framing, intent. The recall campaign is not merely a political disagreement, but a concerted effort by aligned interests to reverse taxpayer protections for private gain. Means, the use of financial influence, misinformation, and coordinated action meets the threshold for an unlawful means or objective. Result, if successful, the conspiracy would harm both Frank White and the broader public interest. Ninth, conclusion. The attached document provides a foundation for alleging a civil conspiracy against Frank White by outlining a coordinated effort by special interests and political opponents to use the recall process for personal or financial benefit. The evidence points to an agreement, unlawful objectives, overt acts, and resulting damages, which are the core elements of a civil conspiracy claim.